Greetings, wise ones. This is Melissa from 8th House Wisdom, author, psychotherapist, astrologer, feminine energy, and stellar planning expert. I'm here with the video for the 2022 Sturgeon Aquarius Super Full Moon. Stay tuned to hear more about what you need to release in order to manifest big for this full moon and to learn more about the powerful cosmic interactions and aspects that will be coupled with this lunation. We are finally at the midway point of the Lunar New Year. Each year, we start the Lunar New Year in the sign of Aquarius with a new moon. That happened on February 1st of 2022. We are now at the Aquarius super full moon. This is the last, super full moon that we'll be experiencing for 2022. It is not as close to the planet Earth, which is what a supermoon is. It's not as close as the other three, so the lunation power is slightly less intense. But there are a number of other astrological events happening on August 11th that are going to really ramp up the power of this full moon. And if I didn't mention, the moon will be full at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In addition to the full moon, Venus, the planet of love, money, and attraction, moves into Leo on the same day, which means we'll be getting a more Leonian, creative vibe as it relates to how we make money and what we attract to ourselves. But in addition to the Venus movement, we will also be experiencing what is known as a grand cross in the sky. That is a four-way square. Do imagine that in the sky there is a full cross. That cross creates the crux of four squares that will be happening between the moon, the sun, and the moon again will be in Aquarius. The sun is in Leo. Mars in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, and the lunar nodes in Scorpio and Taurus. What we are getting is a four-way cross, and squares indicate tension and dynamic energy in the fixed or authority essence of signs. That's what's known as a triplicity. Now, the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, they hold up the corners of the earth. So this grand cross, with the cross being straight up and down and horizontal, actually opposes the way that these signs fall on the zodiac wheel. All of these signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus, create more of an X across the sky. So you can see that just from hearing about the difference in the pattern, what we're going to be experiencing is more tension, right? Because instead of the normal pathways that the energy would be pulling. There is a different flow. The key here is to make sure that you get grounded so you do not feel like someone is trying to draw and quarter you and pull you by every extremity. It's also key to note that since this is a grand cross in fixed signs, we are going to be less likely to want to shift our position or move. And so flexibility is the name of the game. Embracing change is extremely important and necessary during this period of time. And that lines up perfectly with what we need to do during a full moon, because a full moon is about releasing. So we need to be willing to release our ego, aspects about our routines, things that happen related to our hopes and wishes, and the community which Aquarius represents, as well as recognizing that the Taurus Scorpio money access of other people's money and personal finances are being activated. So we can experience some interchange of all of those issues showing up in the light of this full moon. This is an extremely potent time, but it can be a great time to put some finishing touches on any of the intentions that we set 6 months ago at the new moon in Aquarius, and then release them so that their physical manifestations can come back to us. We want to celebrate the accomplishments that we have made thus far in this first half of the lunar year, starting in February. And then it's a good time to look at aspects of the lunar wisdom formula to really see what we need to do next. Again, remember that the archetype of the Aquarius is the maverick, the rebel. Their motto is that they know things. In order to best navigate this period of time, we need to expect the unexpected. Definitely be prepared for sudden emotional releases. Focus on what's going to set you free. Definitely use the mental clarity that can come from this lunar energy when you practice releasing. You're going to seek adventure, innovation, and push boundaries. Really mind your energy and that of those around you. There is going to be increased insights and intuitions that may lead to further futuristic innovations, because Aquarius is the sign of the futurist and of innovation and bright ideas. This lunar energy is really going to activate strong Saturnian issues for us with all the ways that we are being pulled. And I'm speaking about Saturn as an archetype, not necessarily as a planet. The desire to be conservative and to keep things as they have always been, versus us being able to recognize that change is the name of the game, releasing control, letting go, and allowing things to unfold, and only choosing to reset once that revelation has occurred. So these are the things we really want to kind of focus on as it relates to this Aquarian full moon. And I want to encourage you to do that, because if you can, then it is the act of embracing the future, right? Fixed signs usually don't like to embrace the future. They like to control it. They like to run ideas over in their head. make up stories that help them prepare for what they anticipate the energetic container to look like, feel like, or be like. And that takes you out of being involved in the present moment and way too far into trying to affect change before it happens. I'm not saying that we can't be futurists and affect change in advance, but the best way to do that is through letting go and allowing. In doing that, we embrace the future, not try to control the future. And if we're embracing the future and dealing with the changes that show up in real time, we can be open to ingenious ideas and innovations that help us to better deal with our current circumstance, as opposed to trying to control what isn't going right based on how it used to be. Because everybody knows that that's an exercise in futility. The sign of Aquarius focuses on New Age wisdom, the community. And so you really do need to be focusing on what can I imagine and how can I visualize myself being there. We talked about visualization with the new moon in Leo, and again, both of these lunations are causing us to use our primary vehicle, which I like to call our imagination. Especially with Aquarius focusing on hopes and wishes. Going into that space can help power our desires and our next steps. We also need to remember that radical change is uncomfortable, but it is key to the evolutionary process. Evolution and evolutionary astrology is something that I associate with the sign of Aquarius. And the energy of Aquarius and full moon together are pushing us to change, to be radical, and to release. But since the full moon demands that we release and let go, it helps us to activate the law of vacuum, which allows us to call forth new blessings and physically manifest our hopes and wishes, because the universe abhors a vacuum. So for this Aquarius super full moon, I have a few releasing prompts that I want to offer you. One of which is, what radical changes am I ready to make in my life or work to eliminate my blocks to evolutionary progress and merging with the collective? Leo is the sign of the ego and the self. Aquarian energy wants to merge with the collective. So we need to think about the community and how we can make changes to allow that to happen. Number 2, how can I leverage the many changes already instituted within this year and celebrate and appreciate where I am today? This is a really important one, because strong, fixed energy really does not like change. And we need to bring change into our mind in a way that is positive, so we can learn to celebrate the changes that are happening, celebrate our resiliency and our ability to overcome, and make the kind of mental changes that allow us to better roll with the punches in the future and reduce stress. And finally, in what ways do I want to apply my gained wisdom to impact and improve the collective and community at large? This is a big one, but all the things that you have learned up to this point, how do you want to address them and put them to good use so that you can pay them forward? The last is, in what ways can I utilize technology and innovation to my advantage? And that is so important because, again, this is the sign of innovation. And to embrace the future and embrace innovation, you have to accept change. So we're priming the pump to get better at releasing, letting go, and allowing changes to happen so that we can speed up our development, speed up our manifestation, and better support what is happening in the collective at large. I hope that you have found something really useful in the information provided thus far. And if you head over to my blog, The Wisdom Well, you'll be able to get a download on the lunar wisdom formula and exactly how this new moon will impact your rising sign, and if you don't know that, your sun sign. But in order to really get that information, you will need to have a copy of your birth chart. Don't worry, I've got you covered with that. If you need one, head over to eighthhousewisdom.com and click on the link to get a copy of your free birth chart. That will help you understand your setup. You'll probably be able to see a visible cross like the Grand Cross, because that exists in everyone's chart there, and you'll be able to use that to orient yourself to the particulars of the lunar wisdom formula. Which leads me to my next topic, which is, if you want to go deeper with the lunar wisdom formula, then I highly suggest that you check out my DIY guide that goes deeper into how to utilize and apply the lunar wisdom formula on an everyday basis. It has a bonus addendum that gives you important astrological dates and all of the new and full moons for 2022 so that you can just plug and play. And this book is digital and expounds on what I have listed in the stellar year blueprint, and really helps you to develop a strong moonology and moon watching process. And if you want to get in even deeper in the spirit of Aquarian community, right? Then join my online lunar community called Lunate. It's a monthly membership that will give you access to curated materials, workbooks, videos, guides that will help support you in lunar living and lunar alignment. Remember, our daily calendar is aligned to the sun. One of the missing pieces is alignment to the moon. The moon's the fastest moving body in our solar system, and it has a direct impact on our emotions, our environment, and our felt sense. So tracking what Luna is doing from day to day and month to month is a game changer in being able to feel your best. I would love to support you in that journey and have you as a part of my community. Last but not least, the full moon is a great time to go out and charge your crystals. And you know that I love crystals if you are a regular viewer here. Hop on over to Rock and Crystal Shop and Spirit Magica, where I have a wonderful discount code to help you get high quality, ethically sourced crystals is a great time to put any heart-centered green-colored crystals out to charge them under this full moon's energy and keep them with you for the remainder of Leo season and the month. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sending you lots of light and love. Please make sure that you comment and like this video. And if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, subscribe. It would help me tremendously. Until my next video, wise ones, sending you lots of light and love. Take care.